There was a comment or a post I saw somewhere where it goes, back in the Middle Ages, average lifespan of a male adult was 30 years old because they would go into battle and they would die fairly quick, young. So that's why today, after 30, when you feel those aches and pains and stuff like that, that's your body telling you should be dead already.
Life expectancy was definitely different back then.
Yeah. I
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Two Dads in a Pod.
Don't play footsies with me.
I know you liked it. That was an accident. I didn't know we were live. No,
Stop it.
I do.
You know what? Okay, so this is a quick story.
Okay, all right.
There was these guys,
Uh-huh.
some paisas in high school that were bugging the shit out of me, right?
Uh-huh.
And they just kept messing with me. And I go, what did I say? I say something like, the way I said it was, stop it, or something like that, right? And they copied me,
Aye.
and I'm like, God, you guys are so like, I was like, what the fuck?
So it's making me laugh.
Because apparently only homosexuals or girls say that. So I was just like, these mother.
Isn't it funny? There's like Mexican gay, and then there's like just there's like different ways. I'm sorry, that's being stereotypical. I am very sorry.
No, it was funny that I'm like I said, I'm comfortable with it. They were bugging the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And they just, it wasn't the I part. It was more of them just repeating.
Just
And like, what's it called? The mocking
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, God damn it. I'll fight every single one of you short motherfuckers. Like,
I know.
but I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover.
So do you remember back a couple episodes ago how we were talking about our kids sleeping? It was a couple episodes before.
Oh, like how we watch them sleep.
No, like
I'm just kidding.
that's a good one though. Actually, no, they look so innocent when they're asleep,
I know.
right? And you're
And
like, God,
quiet.
you're like, God, I love them so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're the cutest thing.
And then they wake up.
And they
they're
wake
like,
up and no, I think we're talking about sleeping habits. I think you were talking about Sophia and like maybe still sleeping in bed or something like that.
Mhm.
And I was talking about how like my son still like comes down to bed with us, but my daughter, the youngest one, she like sleeps no problem, all that stuff.
Yeah.
What was funny because right after that episode, no joke, like a week later, something happens that like completely changed her thing. And it was funny because I was thinking about doing the episode and I'm like, man, did I really? I was like, man, I feel like I sounded a little very like, oh, I got my shit together.
Yeah.
Because like, but it was funny because Camille, I don't know what happened, but during the middle of the night, and this is when we still had the baby monitor on her, just to have the baby monitor on her. My wife wakes me up and she says, "Hey, Camille threw up," and I'm like, She's like,
That's it.
I just
You gonna take care of it or what?
Well, I just thought like, oh, okay, I guess she's gonna. And then I remembered, oh shit, I forgot we did make that pact, didn't we? We made this. My wife has this affinity to puke, like vomit. She just can't.
I remember.
She cannot.
Yeah.
She cannot deal with vomit. That's like
Yeah.
her thing.
Yeah.
And me, I'm just like, if it's my kids' vomit, like I've literally just like let it happen in my hand
Mhm.
and just be like, just throw it off like nothing, right?
Yeah.
That's just me. So I was like, in the middle of the night, I woke up, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And then I got up, and sure enough, yeah, she was just like she threw up, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And like I'm like, did we give her some bad milk or like I don't know what happened to the kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if she had a stomach bug, but all I'm saying is what happened with that was she was afraid she just didn't want to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And the only way to get her back to sleep was to put her down in the bed with us because we're tired and all that stuff. And also after that, she just didn't want to sleep in her room anymore. And so we're like, shit. Like, all right. And here's something that I completely forgot. And at that point, she was getting a lot closer to 3. She's 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot something. Kids are afraid of the dark.
Oh, turn off the lights behind you.
No, they just become afraid of the dark at one point.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. And Lexi did the same thing when she was older. Dawn. Here's why it skipped my head, my brain, because Donovan never slept on his own throughout his whole life. So there was like I don't know. Let's see how. I think Camille and Lexi are like 7 or 8 years apart. So there's about a 7 or 8 year apart gap of me comparing babies.
Yeah.
Right. And so she's afraid of the dark. Kids are afraid of the dark. Yeah. It sounds very like duh, but I forgot. And part of it was she was afraid of the dark. So what we ended up having to do was we ended up moving Donovan and Camille together in one room. And I mean, takes some ingenuity there, but all thanks to my wife, we actually ended up it works now. Now we can sit in the room to have them go to sleep, but now we at least got them both to falling asleep in their room.
Yeah.
And whatever happens after that, well, it happens after that. Camille does now walk down and gets into our bed. But it's funny because she's very quiet about it.
Yeah.
She will hop over me and just like sleep. I never wake up. She somehow knows how to tiptoe and just like go around and do it. It's pretty funny. But I mean, yeah, I remember being afraid of the dark. And yeah, I don't know how the hell it. I mean, like, I remember being a kid and we used to have this Bart Simpson doll. Like that would like sit on the TV. I know there's nothing wrong with it, but like I remember like, do you remember just staying awake at night, or did you always fall asleep as soon as when you were a kid?
No, I was up late a lot.
You were late a lot. Okay, but let's say, did you guys ever have like a bedtime? Did you ever just like it's bedtime? Technically, same here.
But it doesn't mean I want to sleep.
Same here.
Yeah.
Okay, but I would lay awake, and in the dark, and I remember just like looking around, and I could swear my toys were moving. Your mind just plays tricks on you.
Plus, we saw Toy Story at some point, probably.
That was before Toy Story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was before Toy Story for me.
Dang.
And I still remember looking at Bart Simpson's big old eyes, and then like for some reason my mind started making this creepy rendition of the Simpsons opening theme. I'm not lying. This is my brain just started being overreactive. But at some point, your kids' brains just start changing and imaginations start coming out, and the dark really doesn't help.
Yeah.
So that was my situation. I mean, we tried different things, mainly thanks to my wife, because she's kind of the one that thinks of different things to do. But how are things still the same with Sophia? She still
sleeps in the bed.
She still sleeps in the bed.
Yeah, we it takes a long time for us to like unwind and get into bed. That by the time we're ready to go to sleep, she's like energy again.
Okay.
So it takes a little bit longer for us to like wind back down, and then she finally like knocks out. But all the lights have to be off for her to knock out.
Is she
all the phones have to be away now. Depends. Okay. If she went to sleep at a decent time, 11. I know some people out there are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" So she sleeps in a lot for sure. Because I leave by the time she wakes up.
That's
like
true,
before she wakes up every single time. And the day she does sleep in and I'm still at home, we kind of take that as an opportunity to go hang out by ourselves at the living room. So let her sleep. Yeah. It's not like she has school to go, like I'm sure it's gonna suck when we start changing that schedule for her. But for now, it's like
years for that.
Freaking baby heaven right now,
Yeah.
But yeah, she still sleeps with us. All the phones have to be, even my phone has to be put away, so I can't. And nothing glowing, or I mean, we have the night light and stuff like that, but like nothing that she knows is distracting. And then she'll knock out like within 10 minutes, and then when she knocks out, if my arm is under like Crystal and Sophia's right there too, I'm over here trying to reach for the phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I should move it closer. But then I'll turn around on my side and low volume. She can't see it. Yeah. Hopefully she can't see the glow. But for the most part, I'll knock out right after them too, because I've been tired lately because of work and everything.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's the reality.
Constant cycle, right? We're always tired.
Yeah, we're always tired.
One thing or another.
There was a comment or a post I saw somewhere where it goes, back in the Middle Ages, average lifespan of a male adult was 30 years old, because it would go into battle and they would die fairly quick, young. So that's why today, after 30, when you feel aches and pains and stuff like that, that's your body telling you should be dead already.
Life expectancy was definitely different
expectancy,
back
yeah.
then.
And now we're living to 100 and stuff like that.
I mean, is that why like George Washington looked hella old back then?
Well, yeah, because they aged faster. I
They
mean,
did age
well,
fast.
technically, any president really. If you look at Barack Obama as like the start of his
Oh, and then
presidency to the
afterwards,
end,
yeah.
dude looked different.
And again, he was in constant war though. But either way, though, I think just men in general just back then looked
Yeah.
older.
Yeah, and plus they had like powdered wigs. I don't know what's up with the powdered wigs or not the powdered wigs, the hairstyles
I
back
don't
then.
know,
It was
but
really
you know that was
different.
the shit back then.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, can you imagine like
the drip?
the drip, man? He's just walking by with 90-degree weather, sweating inside but looking sharp
Oh,
on the
yeah.
outside.
All the
Freaking
girls
all
are
cotton. Like, what's up? 100% cotton, baby.
Still remember seeing a video of like a meme video of like back when Beethoven made this song, everybody was like dancing like if it was like because that was the shit back then.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I saw one where it goes, Beethoven's like, "Are you ready to party?" Everyone's like, "Yeah," and he goes again, "I can't hear you." Yeah.
Anybody know Beethoven was what? He was
partially
deaf, right?
partially deaf, or like at least really deaf.
Because it was like
but
what
still-
vibrations that he was able to make
Yeah.
his music with or compose.
yeah.
Like vibrations,
something like
Crazy.
that. I mean, I'm no
Good
expert.
vibration.
Can you imagine? Oh, thy rhythm is hot. Is that how you young folks say?
I don't even know that.
Thy rhythm.
That rhythm is at a topical temperature.
Yeah, back then, the clothing. I mean, if you look at like every 20 years, the clothing is
Mhm.
changing and changing. The 1900s was completely different so quickly.
Yeah.
Compared to before, 1910, 1920 is very similar. 1930s, you start seeing the changes.
10-year gaps are like
1970s, LSD was introduced. 60s, whatever.
Now
1980s, that. So, I
almost
guess
feel like now it's like 5-year gaps.
there's a fun fact that I learned that somebody told me. So when there was black and white television,
Mm-hmm.
when black and white television finally came
You mean
out,
when the whole world was black and white?
yeah, when the
Yeah.
whole world was black and white, but when black and white television was the only
Source of
not the only source, was the main a popular source. When black and white TV was finally invented, how about that? They needed to put in more bright colors, even though they don't show up as color TV, so they can tell the objects apart from each other because everything was like black and white.
Oh, the contrast.
So that's why a lot of sets back in the day or early
Oh,
color
that's-
television was very, very bright because they needed just bright colors in general. So that transition over to the 70s, late 60s, early 70s or whatever, and then you see these shows with like super bright colors and the styles and everything.
That makes sense.
I'm like, okay, I can see why. And then that
So that's
obviously
where neon coloring
yeah.
came from, right?
and that influenced how people dress today, kind of thing.
I don't think that'll explain bell bottoms, but
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all about the cowbell.
more cowbell.
Need more cowbell.
Um,
I have a fever.
you know what?
The only medicine is more cowbell.
like our teenage years were like 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny to think that
Baggy clothes, man.
yeah.
That was it. Oversized clothes was
I was thinking about this the other day. It's like we're closer to 50 than we are to I don't know something along those lines. Like we're closer to 2030 than we are 2000, something like that. Something crazy.
It
And like, it
was
feels
like-
2000 was just 2 years ago.
my friend the other day we were talking about I think we brought up the World Cup or something,
Mm-hmm.
and like we were talking about like I think I said like one time Mexico wasn't in the World Cup or whatever. I was like, yes. He said he was like 40 years ago. I was like, nah, dude, it was like in 80 something. He's like 40 years ago, and I was like, fuck, you're right, yeah. Ouch.
I know. It's crazy to. I mean, if you really go down that rabbit hole, you kind of start getting a little antsy, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll pick up on. There's a freaking dog howling outside somewhere. I think across the street from us,
Mm-hmm.
this new residents moved in, and they have 2 young dogs, and they put them outside the balcony majority of the days.
That's a good idea.
And they're like huskies or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's pretty open space up there too. I bet you anything can see the moon.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like, when they see their owners walking around in the house.
Oh, they just start.
They're crying. They
yeah.
want to come in and hang out.
Yeah.
I don't think apartments. I mean, I love dogs, but I don't think apartments should be allowing dogs because
That's why most don't.
I know that's why most don't. But then now it's like, I think California's becoming more progressive with dogs that they're allowing them, or at least have a bigger deposit. And yeah, anywhere I've gone, it must be under 10 pounds and stuff like that. But I'm like, people sneak in their big dogs.
All the time.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I remember when I lived at another apartment, and there was no dogs allowed, and I had my little dog for a moment, and the neighbors, though, big ass fucking like Rottweiler in there, didn't make a peep though, so they hadn't trained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was fine. But I saw him a few times, like, fuck.
Fucking
Thing's
Cujo
huge.
right there.
Cujo, yeah.
Or the
Cujo?
one from-
Cujo. Yeah. Yeah.
Or the dog from the Sandlot.
Oh, the dog from Sandlot. That was
It was like
it was that what
Was he like a
Saint Bernard.
Yeah, he was like a Beethoven type
yeah,
of dog. Yeah. Speaking of Beethoven.
Speaking of Beethoven, can you hear me? I mean, I can't hear you. So the reason why I'm talking about the dog is because it's howling right now outside, but the Rodecaster Pro has this noise gate feature where like it blocks out everything else, so it's very directional. So we should be good.
Only the finest equipment.
Only the finest equipment attached to the cheapest microphones.
We're upgrading soon.
The microphones are fine.
They're fine, yeah.
They're fine. I think it's great. I think a lot of people put. I know I would want other ones because they just look better.
Mm-hmm.
But this is satisfactory.
Oh, you didn't put the
oh yeah, I forgot this
Blue
time.
Jimmy on it.
I forgot this time.
Oh well.
Next time I'll put I have multiple colors.
Okay.
Did you get it now? Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
You're doing
am
it
a
wrong.
chess player here. I'm a chess player. I make moves, man.
Hey, this show is raw.
I don't know how to play chess to begin with, but I make moves.
The show is raw, so
It ain't cooked. We don't cook anything here.
we really don't. That's how we get off track a lot.
No, we get off track quite a bit. I mean, what was the subject that we wanted to talk about to begin with?
I was talking
You
about
talked
my
about
daughter's
sleeping. Yeah,
habits,
let's
yeah,
talk
and
about
that they change all the time.
Not that they change all the time.
Do you remember any crazy stuff that you remember seeing as a kid when you were like trying to sleep? I mean, did you?
So I had to dig deep on this one because like I don't tell anybody this stuff.
What better place than here?
Yeah, I know. So I don't know. I wouldn't call it an imaginary friend, but I would. So we had bunk beds at some point, and I took the bottom bunk, and under my brother's bed there was, obviously it was wrapped with some sort of sheet, right? There was spaceship figures decorating the bedspread.
Oh, the bed, yeah.
And there was all this stuff. So I would imagine those coming to life.
And, so you just
doing that kind of stuff
yeah.
and having and there was like a duck kind of character spaceship, and like in a spaceship, and he would be like the main captain or whatever. Like, and I would do that a lot throughout the night, and it was dark enough in the room to where like they're kind of like it's kind of blurry, so your imagination can like make them blink
it
or
like
whatever.
fills in the blanks.
It fills in the blanks.
Yeah.
So my imagination kind of just took its took its own journey there, and the only reason like it kind of borderlines like imaginary friend is because like I would be like putting myself in the story too a little bit. It's just it was a very interesting. So and I knew what I was doing too, which was weird because like all right, like even at school when I would have pencils, I'm like they would fight each other. Like it was like I know people like have imagination and stuff like that, and that's great. But
you
for
think
me,
it's that weird?
no, I want to say that weird. It's just I was the only one in the costume doing it. I never
Well, that
noticed
you
anybody
knew
else
of.
that I knew of. There maybe
Because,
there's somebody else
yeah,
doing
there's
something,
somebody, yeah.
but no, there was. I would, like I would just be playing with pencils and pens.
Especially after an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, freaking power up for a whole class.
Well, I mean, that just takes into like what we saw as kids, and then we would replicate it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I mean, we're being molded by what we watch.
One common thing I know everybody did was when they're in the back seat of a car driving down a highway, and that imaginary person that's running next to the car, freaking jumping over every obstacle, and for some reason, if he gets stuck, he somehow catches up again. That was a
I mean,
fun one.
that was before iPads. Everybody had
Yeah.
iPads, so we just
Looked
our
outside the window.
imagination, they would
You know
do
what's funny? I saw that image like when you were younger. Everybody had that one, that one scenario where people were, like you saw that imaginary person, and then it pans over to the dad in the image. It pans over to the dad driving. The dad's all worried that there's somebody running next to him.
Why do I feel like you sent me that one?
I probably did.
I did.
It was dad's
Was
like
it a real person?
some dark figure running next to us.
I used to do that with my wall, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do the same thing. Like you said, I would
Make little figures on the.
Yeah, no, you know how
like the popcorn ceiling.
No, it was like my wall, the popcorn ceiling too. You could, I would.
You can make faces out of it.
Yeah, it's almost like looking at clouds. It was the same thing, but I would do the same thing. I turn over and my bed was next to the wall.
Yeah.
And the wall, like
it was dark enough, and you can
it was
make
dark
figures.
enough. You can make figures with the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, we just had white walls and stuff. So I would do that all the time.
Yeah.
Imagination. My point is the imaginations run wild, and of course, during those imaginations, I'd scare the shit out of myself sometimes too.
Yeah.
Because it just runs wild, and then you look around your room, and you're like, I think I'm not gonna look at that side anymore, and you just turn around.
So as a kid, you have a perspective that everything is bigger.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember throwing away a trash outside in the trash bin late at night. And this happened so many times that the manager singled us out.
Yeah.
So you got to stop leaving the trash by the trash bin. You can actually throw it inside because I was drop it and run home.
Run home, yeah.
It wasn't dark. It was just scary to be out there by myself. But I remember there was this fence past the parking lot. There was this fence, and on the other side there was another road, and the hills, all hills. No, like maybe a house. But at night it was pitch black. So we our area was like all illuminated, and on the other side of the fence was just this road that led into a black hill.
Oh, because they just missed that part. Yeah.
So for me, it was like this different world on the other side of the fence, and I never ever went over there till this day. I still haven't gone over there.
You really haven't?
I know what it looks like during the day, but at night it's like the scariest thing.
That's the funny point is like when you're little. And if there's something you can't see, there's this like you want to see it, but for some reason your mind goes like, I wonder what's behind that, and it's like reality isn't really there. You're just like, I wonder if there's like this crazy new world that's behind that thing. Yeah. You know what I used to do that? I used to do that during church.
Do what?
During church?
During church? Oh, like where do they go after they're done?
Yeah, okay. Did you go to church here? Did you even go to church? Did you go to St. Rose?
A couple times, yeah.
Okay, well that's the church that I went to all the time. I was dragged into, I should say.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, the altar boys and the priests. Yeah, the altar boys and the priests would go behind that little thing, and then they come out with
there's like this huge room or something.
So because I had to keep myself sane during all those church trips that I was dragged into, and because I couldn't act up. I couldn't, obviously not. I was in huge trouble. So I would sit there and just kind of do what I would do at night. Just kind of look around and just find something to do in my head. Yeah. And I remember just being like, I wonder what's behind that thing. Like they come out with that like candle holder thing and the body of Christ wafers. They would come and I'd be like, man, what is behind that like little partition? Yeah. And I remember one time I told my mom, because my best friend, he was an altar boy. Like after he moved here into the area, he was an altar boy. And I remember every time we go to church, I'd see him there, and I'd tell my mom, "Hey, that's my best friend." I remember I told my mom once, I was like, can I be an altar boy? And she was, oh my God, she got delighted for the wrong reasons. She was delighted because she thought I wanted to be more involved and all that stuff. In reality, I just wanted to do it just so I could see what was behind that partition. Never happened. I never did the thing, but I really just wanted to see. Because as a kid, I was just, my imagination was like, maybe it's a portal.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's just like, I'm thinking just like one round, like portal thing you just like go into, and I never asked. Nobody ever told me. And if they did, they're just like, oh, it's a room. I'm like, well, what kind of room?
Yeah. What's in the room? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I remember when I was a kid at the apartments we used to live at, there was a fence I did jump over because during the day it was nice and bright, but it was like this field of trees and it would like go up to a house and stuff like that. But for me back then, it looked like this house was like miles away.
Mm-hmm.
I went by the other day and I was walking in that area and I was like, it's fucking right there. it's like it's not even that far. What the hell? But in my head, when all the weeds were growing, it was long. Like it was way over there, and for a good portion of the time, like we can only see through holes because there was a lot taller fence at one point, and then they replaced it. And I was like, "What's?" You're looking on the other side. I mean, we can go around, around the fence. We didn't climb the fence, and they finally like there was a side that fell down, so they had to fix it. But while it was down, we like, "What's over here?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of my friends, she stepped on a freaking nail because the wood was on the ground.
Yeah.
So bad memories there sometimes.
There's actually where I live now. There's this place. There's this road where I used to ride my bike when I was little. I was younger, and it's kind of cool.
No handlebars. Just kidding.
Yeah, no. And it's cool because like I can do that with my kid. That's one of the cool things. That's one of the coolest things about still living in this town for as long as I have been, or as long as we have been.
Yeah.
Is we're having our kids here, and I could be like, I used to ride my bike there. I used to know this and that.
Yeah.
And so where I live now was actually in development when I was like, I don't know, 10, riding my bike in that area. We lived close. I kid you not, that I would tell my daughter all the time, I used to ride my bike down this hill because it was so freaking steep. And I still remember going down it and just being like, oh, it's a steep hill. And I go past it not too long ago, and I'm like, it's really not that steep. It's a steep hill, but like in my brain, it was like this, this. It's more like this. I'm sure you can. I mean, I'm sure if you would let go of the pedals, you can get some speed on there. That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
But when I was little, I thought it was like all the way down like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Perception.
Yeah. I know.
Something about when you grow up and just not as
it changes.
Cool. Yeah, it just changes.
I know. It's very interesting that
it sucks what you lose as a kid. Like once you get an adult.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. It's like it's one of those things where like perspective changes, sure, and like things shrink a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's kind of like what I'm looking forward to when Sophia starts noticing those things, like how much things are much more bigger to her compared to me, kind of thing. Because she's this like tiny little thing running around, and she'll pick up the pillow to move it. She's like, "Oh, you're moving the pillow for me? There you go, Daddy." And like she wants me to lay down, whatever. And then she lays down in my spot. I think it's a power move, to be honest, man. I change her diaper, change her clothes. All right, go to the middle. Nope. Gets under the sheets, right in my spot. I'm like, can you move over, please? Can you move over, please?
She probably feels her baby imprint in that little spot that's hers.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? It's concave to her body, so she's like, that's actually my spot.
That's not concave to her body. It's concave to my head on that pillow.
Her head, your head and her. Yeah, exactly. It's your head, but her body. She's like, no, it's mine because it's perfect.
Yeah, so. But yeah, she lifts up the pillow. I'm like, oh, is it heavy? She goes, uh-huh. And whatever.
I just love how everything is small to kids.
And I pick it up like, here you go. She goes, oh, heavy, Daddy? And I'm like, yeah, it was really heavy. Like to them, we're really strong. Yeah. So it's just very interesting to see how like to us it feels like they're over exaggerating, but to them it actually is freaking heavy. You know, it's funny.
I still remember like having like dad battles, but like not really dad battles with friends. Like it was more like,
oh, my dad can do this. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Like my dad picked up a TV all by himself.
You know what's funny? There's this one time. I guess we were being mean to this little girl in our apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
I was more of a I see, I hear, I speak no evil kind of thing because I don't think I was picking on her, but I know one of the group,
Somebody did.
Somebody did.
Yeah.
So she goes, she hung out with us a lot too, which was weird. But she went back to tell her dad that we did something or whatever, like we were being mean. And he comes over, and you can smell the alcohol in his breath already.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And I was like, so he's looking, he's like, he's giving us a lecture or whatever, and he goes, "Where's your dad?" And my first friend goes, "He's not home." "Where's your dad?" My second friend goes, "He's not home." "Where's your dad?" And I look up at my apartment, and I'm like, he's not home." And he was home. I just didn't want to get him involved or something. He goes, "So nobody's dad is home." I was like, "No." It's like, he was, okay, keep in mind, this is a white drunk guy, right?
Yeah.
Talking to a whole bunch of Mexican kids saying that their dad wasn't home. And he goes, "So nobody's dad is home?" We were speechless. I mean, it's a drunk adult talking to us, right? And he goes, "Don't be a motherfucker."
He's, I'm gonna take this opportunity.
Yeah, don't be a motherfucker, and like walks away with this kid and stuff like that. I don't think we ever saw her again. But that kid, she left behind some Ritz crackers, you know, the little brown plastic wrapper thingy. And one of my friends, all of a sudden now he's all courageous and goes over and stomps out the freaking crackers.
Fuck yo crackers.
So fuck your crackers. And we're just like, okay, like that happened. And then I think about I think about it every once and I'm like, so we were 3 Mexican kids with our dads not present, you know. 2 of them definitely were not present. Like they didn't live there.
You lied about yours.
I had to lie about mine.
Lied
So
about yours.
it was really funny. I don't know what we did to that girl, but she was like all over. Like she was like crushing on one of the 2 friends that I had.
Wow.
It was weird. And then I guess he was mean to her.
I unfortunately think about that a lot, like about the things I did as a kid, and like maybe I let it impact me a little too much, but like you definitely think about it more when you have your own kids.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're like, I wish I could have handled the situation better. You know, you just think about that. And sometimes, yeah, you kind of think about, like, I wonder where that kid is or whatever happened to that kid.
Yeah. I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah. Or
I hope her dad is on the wagon, not drinking anymore.
I don't know if I ever told this story before, but I remember we were in the apartments. That's when I used to live in Dry Creek. Me and my brother, we used to just walk around and play. Like we wouldn't go too far, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those like, oh, I gotta go home. I hear my mom calling, right? Because you know back then, your mom would be. Did it ever happen to you? Like your mom would like call your name. You're like, all right, gotta go home. Like it was very. I felt like it was very common back then.
I don't remember her calling. She would come out every once in a while, but most of the time we didn't have curfew as far as coming in. But I know we would get in trouble if we were out too late, kind of thing.
Right.
Like once the sun sets, we're like, okay, we should probably go back in.
Yeah,
Lights are turning on outside.
I'm getting hungry.
I'm getting hungry. It's time for dinner.
Yeah. And like, so like, I don't remember if she would call to us, but I still remember like, you know, like, my mom was calling and go back home, right? We didn't go too far, but we were in the parking lot, and there was these 2 other boys that me and my brother would frequently just kind of like come across him and just play with them.
Yeah.
How it came about, I don't remember, but we just start playfully throwing rocks at each other. We're having a rock war, and we're just throwing them at each other. We're at a distance. The setting, though, was in the parking lot with all the cars there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know if I told this story already on here before, but like this lady comes out, and she's like, you boys are hitting my car, you know, this and that. And she's like, I'm going to go talk to your parents or whatever. And the boys that we were hanging out to, like, we always knew their parents didn't really, like, care what they did.
Yeah.
Because, like, we'd always ask, my parents. I don't know the story of their parents, but their parents really seemed like they just didn't give a shit about their kids or whatever or what they were doing. And luckily, what happened was she's like, I'm going to go talk to your parents and stuff. And so she points at, she's like, you two. She points at the other 2 guys. She's like, come with me. Let's go talk to your parents. And she looked at me and my brother. She's like, you two stay right there. I'm like, oh, shit. You know, and I'm little. So, like, I'm little and I'm like, just kind of like, fuck, we're in trouble. And I'm just like standing there. I'm standing there. My brother, a little older, a little more wiser, kind of looks
Let's
around.
get out of here.
Waits till she turns the corner.
Uh-huh.
And she's gone. And he goes, all right, let's go. And we run home. We run home to my mom, and we're like, if anybody asks, we were here the whole time.
It's like the episode from the that movie, The Town or whatever, with Ben Affleck.
I never saw
This is, they're like from Boston or something,
Uh-huh.
right? And he shows up. He's like, "Hey, I need your help. I don't want any questions. You're not gonna ask it. We're never gonna talk about this again, and we're gonna hurt some people."
it.
And Jeremy Renner's character goes, "Whose car we taking?" like,
Yeah.
like we were never here.
Yeah, I was never here. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. So, like, and I was like, and yeah. We see those boys later on, and we're like, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
nothing. Just nothing. They didn't get punished. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're still out, whatever. But
I remember this kid. We were unloading the groceries, and me and my brother were like play fighting a little bit, and this
Yeah.
kid was like being super nosy on his bicycle. Like you know that stereotypical kid that's like, "What are you doing?"
yeah,
you know,
just walking right
like in
around
the
his
Mr.
bicycle.
Incredibles. What are you waiting for? I don't know.
Something
Something amazing
to
I
happen.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was this kid standing really close to us, and we were playing fighting, and my brother like backsteps and like trips over him, and I guess the kid like hits his mouth on the
Oh,
floor
shit,
somehow.
yeah.
So he's bleeding already.
Oh my god.
So me being the responsible, preteen that I am, I walk him over to his mom at her house, and she automatically just starts, "You have to be more careful," like telling me. I'm like, what happens? Like, whoa, he was standing right behind us, and
Yeah.
my brother tripped over him. And he goes, and she's just yelling at us, and I'm like, next time I'm just gonna leave him there.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm
like,
no.
the thanks I get for walking him
Yeah.
over to you.
Yeah, yourself, lady. Okay.
You said that.
Other than that, she's
You know,
nice.
You,
She's
you know
nice.
you said that.
She's nice. Other than that,
Do not
that one
pull-
time, it
do
was
not pretend you didn't do that.
mother bear was
Don't pretend you
protect
didn't do that. You know you're
Well, I was
like,
like, that bitch. Anyway, sorry, not that she's a bitch. I'm just.
That was the thing when we were little. Was like
Because we saw Bad Boys 2.
I didn't see Bad Boys too.
So Bad Boys
Yeah.
2.
I know of it. I know about it.
You hold your earlobe and you go "Usa" to calm down, and Will Smith's character was a playboy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like all of his characters.
like all of his characters, and what's the guy's name that played opposite of him?
Oh,
Fuck.
I just forgot his name. God, he was Big Mama's house.
They'll come back to this
Yeah.
later. Anyway, he was like Usa because he was trying to practice calming down, and Will Smith's character was like, "Yeah, Usa," like trying to help him out. Like, hey, and he goes, it cuts over to how they learned how to do the USA stuff, and Will Smith's character was like leaning back on the couch. He goes, USA, and then the therapist pops up from the bottom of the scene. I'm like, oh my god,
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. He was in a lot of things.
Yeah, he was.
It's crazy. Big Mama's House, Big Mama's House 2, Big Mama's House 3.
The third one. There was a third one.
There was a third one
Yeah,
with.
there
I didn't watch
They were
the third
horrible.
one. Yeah,
All of them were horrible. The first one was.
the first
best
one was funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All the rest of them.
After
just
that,
don't
oh, how can I forget that asthma? What? The asthma. You remember he had asthma?
That was the
You
first
were like,
one. That was the first one.
I was like,
That first one was good. I liked the movie.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, anyway, I'm not going to try to pretend to be Martin Lawrence's Big Mama right now.
I can't think of a-
Child.
Yeah, I can't think.
Speaking of mamas, Mother's Day's coming up.
Yeah.
You got plans?
Yeah, the wife wants to go do something, and that's basically it. We're gonna, I don't know, we haven't figured out exactly what we're gonna do, but we have a list of things that we might go do. But other than that, nothing huge.
Go shoot some guns.
Nah, I won't do that. What about you?
Go take some shots.
We're parents. Like, oh, yeah, we're gonna go take shots.
I saw this TikTok video. It was like, hey, you want to take a shot before we go so we can get like on this right level? I was like,
Uh-huh.
we're taking the kids to the park. Probably taking Crystal and Sophia to the in-laws' house. We're gonna
Okay,
barbecue.
Yeah.
I might have a beer weird. They're like, you want a beer? I'm like, no, because every day they're having at least one or whatever, and I'm just like, no, because I'm driving. Like
I kind of do. Yeah.
I don't.
I see the point.
If I'm driving, nothing. Even at home, I would try not to stock up on anything because
I'm usually
if I
I'm
have to
not
leave somewhere, I don't want to.
I'm not against it at all, but usually if I'm at somewhere and my kids are around, I'm like, nah. Like,
Yeah, my kids are around. It's definitely
like,
a no.
what's the point of getting a buzz if I'm gonna still have to chase them around? Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's really no point.
Once they're older, once she's older, it might be a different story.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
you get hammered. What's wrong with that?
He's off in a distant fairyland.
You know, what I was thinking? It's like, so when I drink, I get even more social. Right?
Yeah,
I'm always
that's me too.
I'm
Yeah.
always smiling.
I get
Very,
it.
very social. And I told myself, I was like, you know, when I'm older, I gotta play it cool. I can't let people know that I'm, you know, buzzed or too drunk or something. So I'm gonna be that guy, that uncle, or that relative, or that Mexican dad in the corner of the room. Hey, you okay? I'm all fucked up, like George Lopez.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm gonna have to be that person.
It's funny. It doesn't matter as much as you try, though. You always
No,
get off somebody always
somebody
knows.
goes-
Like, we have an uncle that every time he gets drunk, his hat goes backwards. So like you just know, like you just because it just
Yeah.
do it one too many times. It's like okay, yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably had a little too much.
So I might have a beer or two. I might
Actually-
try to buy some wine. I'm
Yeah.
more of a wine person than a beer person. I used to drink beer often, but once I got into wine back in 2000, what was it? 2014. I was like, all right, wine's my thing. I'll drink
I
beer,
haven't got into wine.
some mixed drinks here and there.
I do mixed drinks just because.
some cocktails.
Yeah,
I'll be fine with that. But for the most part, it's like wine.
yeah.
You know?
The only thing I can't do is vodka. It gives me headache immediately.
I can do so.
I also got really drunk once off vodka, so that's probably what.
Oh, same here. Smirnoff vodka was the one I got drunk off of, and
I
I'm
don't
never
remember
having
what-
it again.
No, I'm just not having. I just don't have vodka. Period. It just immediately gives me that.
E&J brandy was another one. Never drinking that stuff again.
Fireball whiskey did it once to me.
Oh goddamn!
Dude, I
Coming
fucking
back
hate
out,
it.
it hurts.
Fucking No, I've always hated.
it's all burning sensation.
I've always hated. I've always hated cinnamon candy flavor,
Oh yeah.
and Fireball is whiskey
Cinnamon,
is
yeah,
cinnamon
yeah.
candy flavor. The worst combination you can get, and it fucked me up one time. And I went into it hating it,
Yeah.
and I hate it completely. I just can't have it.
Yeah. No, it's very rare for me to like. I do get a I do get a hangover from drinking wine because of all the sugars and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but never had like a moment like I did with beer or hard alcohol where I threw up. Wine's always been like tolerable there.
I guess I haven't really had too much wine, but then again, I don't really go.
Well, you
out
got to taste and find out what you actually like because there's a shit ton of wine out there.
Look, right now, I'm either at work, at home, or here.
Yeah. Same here.
Pretty much.
Same here. I know. Yeah, that's one of the things that like I keep in mind every once in a while. It's like when she's older, we're definitely gonna be doing more stuff because
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
right now it's mainly just hang out and if we take Sophia anywhere, like all the restaurants downtown, especially on Mother's Day, they're packed, man. It's hard to convince yourself to try to make something special out of the day
Yeah.
and take it to somewhere where you're just gonna be surrounded by people who are drunk and loud.
Yeah.
But hey, they're having dinner with it or lunch
Yeah.
or whatever. But you can smell the alcohol in the air at one point, And I'm like, man, what happened to good old Paso? You used to go downtown, have some dinner, and go watch a movie, and like it's not crowded at the dinner spot. Now it's like packed.
It is packed. I don't know what it is about it where I'm like, kind of wish I could go walk around there, but I
Yeah.
can't because I don't have the time for it.
Yeah. One day I'll
Yeah.
I'll drive by. I know. I walked by there yesterday because I went to go talk to Tommy from Wine Boss,
Mhm.
and I walked by all these restaurants. All of them, if they were open, they were packed already.
Yeah.
And the ones that were closed because we were prepping for dinner time, there's already like people looking at the menu or like a line at the door already. I'm like, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, I was downtown yesterday and it wasn't that bad, but I was there at like 2,
No,
so it probably wasn't as bad.
no, I was walking around.
Been
there
meaning to
around
walk over
4:30.
to Wine Boss, but I haven't I forgot where it's at, and we were there, but I was like,
Yeah.
I would mean just to go walk by there. But anyway,
Mother's Day's coming up.
Mother's Day is coming up, so happy Mother's Day.
Happy
to
Mother's
all
Day
the-
to all those moms out
all
there.
the moms out there. Any single dads that take care of their kids full time for whatever reason. Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Yeah, Happy Mother's Day to you too.
You know, and,
credit due where it's credit due.
Exactly. And
I
take
think,
us
yeah, I think that's it.
take us out. Take us out, Miguel.
Somebody appears behind us.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, listen to the pod. Like, if you want to look at other previous episodes, go for it. Comment, leave a like, subscribe. Peace
Definitely
out.
those subscriptions. God, I can't even say it. Subscriptions.
Say
damn it.
dark.
Dark?
Yeah, because you said dork earlier when we were talking about nightlights and stuff like that.
No way. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
listen
you
to
said
this.
dork a couple times. I didn't want to say anything,
Say
and I'm
dark.
like, let's just wait. Maybe he starts having a
dark,
seizure or
dark.
something.
I'll be thinking about it when I re-screen.
You're driving
this
home.
whole thing.
Dark.
Dark. Maybe it's my accent.
Maybe.
Hit the thing. Till next time, everybody. Thanks
Peace.
for listening.
Peace.